You are watching Xirtus.
Yeah, but then you have people like they're the type to look for problems even if there are
The thing
none.
is,
Like let's say they
we have
obsessively solve these problems proactively, and then they get to a point where it's like there's nothing wrong, and then they just keep stressing like looking for things that are wrong. Like like at the same but I do agree
I'd
in a
say that
sense
they're
where
avoiding things that are actually wrong because there's always going to be things that arise. There's always
well
obstacles. There's always things that somebody could be
yeah,
taking
but
care of.
there's
there's
a
work.
novel approach though.
There's work to be done, and the reason that we can live in comfort without always having to be busy is because people have figured out how to automate countless parts of these systems, and so now we don't have to prepare for the winter as much as we did 100 years ago, 200 years, 1,000 years ago. Now we can be like, oh my god, winter's here. I'm gonna go to the grocery store anytime I want and get anything I want. I can get something from across the world now.
Yeah,
Back then it was like, oh yeah, you'd have to dry your food, you'd have to cure your food, you have to salt your food, you have to
and yet people are still suffering. People are still suffering, and I think that's because
the
like
thing is that
suffering
the thing
more.
is, it wasn't suffering. It wasn't suffering to do the action because that granted meaning. People were like they did the thing, and it served the purpose. It filled that void in their hearts.
That's not real meaning though. Like honestly, I think no matter what material problems you solve, and like let's say you even wipe the slate clean with all your problems, you're still gonna make up new ones because whether it's like dealing with like savage beasts in the wilderness or whether it's dealing with like I don't know like some asshole in a boardroom, like no matter what, you're still like no matter what kind of problems you're dealing with, ultimately there's still that one core issue with the self. It's reconciliation with the self and your own purpose, your own sense of meaning, your own sense of like belonging in the world. Until you solve that, everything else is going to be a problem. However, once you solve that problem, other external problems could arrive and they won't even be problems to you. You'll just be like, oh, this is just another thing I have to deal with, as a human incarnation, like, okay, let's deal with it,
If you're born into a world that is simple and beautiful and gives you everything you need, most people can go on for generations and generations and generations and generations. Problems arise when those paradises are broken, but for a while things are peaceful. It's the Shire, like people want to live in the Shire.
I'm still saying I still think you can find inner peace even in Mordor. Okay, like I think even if you were in the depths, of Mordor, you have to work hard for it. Though.
You gotta throw.
It's gonna be an intense life.
You got to throw the ring inside the volcano to do that,
Yeah, no, I agree. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's the same like difficulty level growing up in the Shire versus Mordor.
Yeah, but like that. The thing is that the meaning crisis isn't there when you have everything you need, and that includes meaning. Like if you have everything you need.
Oh no, I just missed the way station, guys.
if you have true love, if you have work that you love, if you have children, if you have if there's no corruption that's ruining your psyche, like you can live happily for a while.
Yeah, but also I still think you could also be, unhappy in the Shire too, right? You could
be sure that you can leave. Be adventurous.
No, I'm saying like you be stuck in the Shire in a different way. You'd be one of those greedy little hobbits trying to like milk your dying relatives for all their valuables. But it's either way, like bullshit.
You gotta get their
we live in a hobbit society.
We're all hobbits. I do identify with the hobbits a lot, though. That's what modern humans would be in the Lord of the Rings world. They would just be like hobbits, like useless, little good-hearted,
But I think you underestimate how fast people can become violent. Like how fast we have the mindset to become warriors when people are waiting for it. Basically, they're like, oh, please, unleash the zombies, unleash something for us to fight.
Yeah, give us a noble cause.
If they don't have it, if they don't have it, we just simulate it. We just fucking play games to pretend and watch heroes do it instead. But that's
that's a good point. Like,
there's no how many hero stories are there in the Shire? They don't need that stimulation. They're smoking their pipe weed and
that's troublemaking.
I met a lot of martial artists like that who are especially like jiu-jitsu guys or not many boxing guys. A lot of boxing guys are very chill. But a lot of jujitsu guys I met were like, bro, I hope someone fucking gives me a reason, bro. And I'm like, damn, dude. That's
Yeah, they're kind of
cool.
handsy, you know.
Well, having the aptitude for violence and having an appetite for it, I think, are two different things. And I think one is maybe more valuable than the other, in most generally speaking. Because having an appetite for that, it sort of like implies like this like desire for destruction or whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
which,
No, I mean,
You got an aptitude, you're able to actually take things as they come, and if a problem arises, you're ready for it, but you're hoping that the problem doesn't arise. But,
well, that's the cheesy part of it. It's everyone
Gotta
always
be
hears it. It's
prepared.
like the most important part of martial arts is learning how to avoid fights, which honestly is like, as corny as it sounds, it's very true. You know, because like the only way to get really good at this shit is to have an appreciation for your own body, and eventually that's gonna inevitably lead to an appreciation for other people's bodies and well-being. Because like once you get very in tune with your own physical sensations enough to master them, to be able to make it do all the crazy stuff and cool stuff you want it to do, you have to like really start thinking about it and contemplating like very minute mechanics within your joints and all that.
Well, which
Because
body
become a
types
lethal
yield which
weapon,
results,
like-
you know?
Yeah.
well, it's
You
kind of like
become a
hunting,
lethal
too.
weapon if you're a martial
hunting.
artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hunting.
see,
You
like,
do love the animals that you hunt.
I see.
You know, like,
It was from watching Baki the Grappler that I started being like, oh yeah, like different body types have different functions, and if you have a certain body type, well, you should focus on that sort of battle style and that sort of approach to the opponent. You know, like,
well, also some people, it's their job. It's literally their job to go out and do like bodily harm to people. Maybe like they're in the military or something.
yeah, Fauci. Sorry.
Oh wow, that was oh man,
It
that
was
was
right there.
terrible.